Hi, I'm Daphne from Daps Makeup, here to give you the quick tea on luxury makeup, and today I am excited to talk about the Chanel Fall 2024 makeup collection. Yeah, I was at the end, give my final review. You can already tell at this point, I love this collection. I'm going to tell you straight up from the beginning, I'm loving it. Now, there are several items in this collection. I personally only purchased 3 items. So let me quickly let you know probably from the thumbnail, you could probably see what items I picked. But let's quickly go over what's in this collection, what I passed on, and then we're going to get into what I got. And, I think you can already tell from my eyes and my nails what I got. Okay, so like I said, there's a lot in this collection. There are 2 blushes. I decided to pass on that. I have plenty of orange blushes from Chanel, and that lavender, as much as I love purple, I think it would be way too light for my skin tone, so I let that go. Lipsticks. There is a whole slew of lip products that is with this collection. And there are some beautiful colors. I was very tempted, the purple caught my eye, the brown caught my eye, and I was like, ooh. But I just restrained myself, and it made me actually say to myself, I need to appreciate and love what I already have, because I actually own 2 Rouge Allure inks. So I have a purple, these are old shades. I have a purple shade. So this is Rouge Allure ink in Metallic Plum, and I'm going to show you, I did a look using this shade. It's not the same purple. Like I said, this is a metallic one, but I was like, I have a purple from them. And then this one is Rouge Allure Ink Fusion Ambergris. I'm totally messing that up. I'm trying to read off of this. I'll write it over here, but it's actually what's on my lips now. So if you want to get a sense of what the finish looks like, what these lips look like. So this is a pretty brown nude for me. So I was like, let me appreciate what I got. And it actually made me use it because I haven't used them in a while. So it was great to use it. And these are nice liquid lipsticks that are not drying on the lips. Very natural, not cakey. And they're gorgeous, gorgeous. So, but if you haven't tried this formula before, if you see a color that you like, I say try one. I think they have a nice, unique formula. Like I said, it's a very comfortable formula. So give that a try. And then, of course, we have nails. Okay, so there's 2 shades. There's one, a more orange tone, orangey brown. It looks pretty. It's nice. But of course, what I was really excited for, this one. I was like, I'm going to just stick to one. And of course I had to stick to this one. Oh my God. Phenomene. Like I said, I'm going to butcher all the names. I think it's basically French for phenomenal. I think you can even see in the bottle, like you can see the purple green reflex. I swear, I don't think Chanel has anything like this in their collection. Or if they have, it's been a long time since they've done something like this. So, of course, I have it on my nails now. Look how gorgeous this is. And so, as you can see, this is not a flat color. And so, how the light hits it, you'll see green, you'll see purple. And it is gorgeous. Gorgeous. Perfect for the fall. And, obviously goes with the colors of the eyeshadow palette. I'm leaving it for last because, and that's the star of the palette. And then they came away, just to clarify, the lipstick formula that is with this collection, they're calling it Rouge Allure Liquid Velvet. So, what I've been using on my lips are called Rouge Allure Ink. Because I think this formula might be now discontinued, so this must be the new version of it. So I can't tell you if it's the exact same formula. They're describing it as an ultra wear intense matte liquid lipstick. So it might be more matte than these, more big. I'm not sure. So just giving you a heads up, I'm trying, they look similar in the bottle, but the formula may be different. Then they came out with the mascara. If you know me, I love color mascara. I know it's not for everybody, but color mascara is my thing. And then, of course, they came out with purple. Purple is one of my favorite colors, so there was no question that I was going to get this. So this is the Noir Allure formulation. It seems like, especially with the color mascaras, they're seemingly to be mainly coming in this formula. Chanel has a volumizing mascara and other ones. This is one that formula wise, and I'm going to get a little closer because of course I did use it. It's more, I feel like, more for separation and definition rather than for volume. So I tend to use this formula usually more for the lower lash line, but today I did use it bottom and lower. And so this color is Amethyste. Like I said, I'm pronouncing everything wrong, but Amethyste, like a deep purple. So this is the shade. And like I said, I did use it on my bottom and top lashes. And you can see it's a beautiful color. And for those who are scared of color, this is not a scary color, So I think this is a great alternative to a black. And if you're curious if it's different from the, and of course it is, but it's different from the Lila's one. So like in the spring, summer, they had come out with a lavender called Lila's, and I got that as well. And I think this is a fun shade, but for a lot of people, this might be too light, too bright, too bold, and I totally get it if this kind of purple is not your vibe. But I think this one is a color that a lot of people can pull off and feel comfortable with. Because like I said, I feel like it's a great alternative to black, and it's not too bright or bold. Okay, so I keep zooming into the eye. So obviously the last item that I got was the eyeshadow. Now there are two eyeshadow palettes in this collection. There's one that is more of a simple monochromatic kind of brown peachy color story, and it's pretty. And I can understand why some people might gravitate towards that. It's a much more easygoing palette. I think a lot of Chanel customers are not necessarily into loud, bold colors. But for myself, I love color. I love to do even if it's not a totally bold color, but I love to do like a neutral with a pop of color. So I love to have some color. And this palette, and so this is Divination. And let me take off the cover. So here are the colors. So first off, purples and greens are like my favorite kind of colors to work with. So you got the lavender shade, a deep purple, this green, and it's more of like an olivey kind of green. And then you have this shade, which is also interesting, particularly pairing with the shade. I know it's kind of looking very mustardy here. Yeah, but it does lean like brown. Yeah, with a mustard olivey undertone. It's a very interesting shade. So, this kind of palette, especially in this format, these four, I can totally understand how it could scare a lot of people. Even myself, as excited as I was for this palette, I was a little bit intimidated for this color combination. It's not a color combination that you typically see. I mean, off the bat, you can say to yourself, okay, easy, these two colors together totally makes sense. These two colors make sense. You can even argue these two colors, but once you put this color with these three, it does have to make your mind work hard to think of what to do. But that's actually, in the end, what's great about this palette is, a lot of times you get a quad, and what's great is they'll be straightforward, and so you go, oh, I know exactly what the eye look is. And so when I make an eye look, and I make one or two looks, but that's about it. It's very straightforward, and I can't really think out the box. This color combination got my juices flowing in terms of what to do with the eye look. And I'm also someone who a lot of times when I see a palette, I want to use like all the colors all at once. And I did with this look and in others. But you can also restrain yourself and just say, hey, I'm just going to do a look with two, or I'm going to do a look with three. Or of course you can do all four. I found myself thinking of all kinds of eye looks and enjoying myself thoroughly doing this. I'm up to my 4th eye look. So if you're following me on Instagram, Daps_makeup, you've already been seeing my looks as I've been posting throughout the week. So I'm already up to 4 looks, and even in my head, I can even think of a couple more that I still can do, which is amazing, you know, just for 4 shades. So, like I said, I'm up to 4 looks. Now, I only did a demo video for 1 look. I didn't do a demo video for them all, but I'm going to show you all 4 looks that I did, and I'll let you know where I placed the eyeshadows, how I did the look. So, let's actually first start with today. Let me give you a closer look, and I'm going to close my eyes. All right, so let's talk about the shades. So I'm going to talk about how the placement of what I did with these shades, but I'm also going to give a little bit of my opinion as I'm going through the shades. So let's start with this shade. So this shade on my skin tone actually ends up looking very similar to my own skin tone. So this is very personal to my skin tone, because obviously this shade is going to look a lot different for those of fair skin tones or those who are much deeper than me. But if you are medium deep skin tones similar to me, this ends up being basically like your skin tone, which is not necessarily a bad thing. So in every single look, the first thing I end up doing is using this shade to set my eyeshadow primer, because it's great to just sweep all across my transition. It is basically my skin tone. So I'll always end up doing that, and you'll see that in the demo video. In this look and another look, I did want to place it in a different location, and also, I want to see where else I could use it, and also for you guys to get a better idea of how this shadow looks, because keeping it in my transition, you can't really tell even that I have it on. So in this particular look, I've actually placed it on my lid in the center. And so especially when it's next to the other shades, now you can really appreciate the color. So it's a great backdrop for the other shades. So this shade, like I said, is very similar to my own skin tone, because I do have it here. But it's a great supporting shade next to the other color. So I actually do like this shade, and it works well on me. It clearly doesn't look ashy or anything like that. How this is going to look on different skin tones, because your skin tone, your undertone, all of that's going to matter with this kind of a shade. But if you are my skin tone, this is something that is very similar to your own. All right, let's move to the green shade. The green shade's fun. So I use that in my transition, and so you can see it well, and it's a beautiful shade of green, great for the fall, and I think it pairs well next to this mustardy brown shade. You'll see in other looks where I've used it on the lid. Now, one thing I'll say, I use like a Sonia G brush for the look, and it worked. I'm going to show you something. You can see over here. Now, normally, when it comes to eyeshadow colors, they always come with these little, the little sponge applicators, and I, never use these things. They always just sit in my palettes, and you'll see they'll be perfectly cleaned and untouched. And it's rare for me to use any applicators that come in palettes. But as you can see, I have clearly been using these. These have actually come in handy, with this particular palette. There was a different look that I'll show you. It was like my second look, and even my third. But, I was trying to build up the green, and I was doing it on my lid, and I was wanting it to build up more. It was showing up, but not as much as I wanted. I was trying different brushes. My, natural hair Sonia G's, and even some synthetics, and they weren't building up to what I wanted. So then I was like, you know what? Let me just try using the sponge applicator. And I used it, and it really popped more when I used the sponge applicator. So as you can see, I've done it with all 4 shades using these sponge applicators, and I've actually found that it's actually good, and it's actually helped to build it up. I used it with the purple. So believe it or not, these are actually good. And Chanel, Chanel I think you guys know by now is one of, if not my favorite, beauty brand at the moment. But I'll say even when I look towards Chanel, I don't really think of Chanel for eyeshadow. You know, I don't necessarily consider Chanel as their best makeup product being eyeshadow. You know, sometimes pigmentation is an issue and things like that. This one, it actually shows up well, but actually these sponge applicators work even better because I just find Chanel powders, whether it be eyeshadows or blushes, they tend to be hard pressed. And so you always need, like when I'm wearing blush, and I am with Chanel today, I have to use a dense brush. I need to use dense eyeshadow. So, you know, sometimes you really need something to really bring out the pigmentation, but you really can. So the deepest shade is the purple. And so for this look, I wanted this is my first time using it as eyeliner. So I took a brush and used it as eyeliner here. I also used it on the outer V, on the lower and outer lash line there. And I thought it paired well with the mascara. So you can see that the purple eyeshadow matches perfectly with the mascara. And then the light lilac, I used a little bit in the inner corner and lower inner third. In most of the looks you'll see, I was always using this one as an inner corner highlight. Out of all these shades, it is the most brightest shade. So it just pops the best to use as inner corner highlight. But you'll see I did do a look where I've used this on the lid. And you know, I do want to try, like I did an all purple look, but next I may want to do this again with the lid and maybe pair it with the green. I haven't done that, you know. I'd love to do it maybe, you know, use this deep purple all over the lid on its own. So there's so many possibilities with this. So this is today's look, and I just wanted a fun look where it featured all 4 shades for you so you could really see in person. I didn't want any shade to be hidden to you guys so that you could really see all 4 shades. Let me quickly show you some pictures of previous looks that I did. So the first look that I did with this palette actually was a monochromatic purple look. I was easing my way into the palette. I wanted to do a simple look. So like I said, I always use this in the transition. You won't really notice it, but I did use a shade. But the big thing is on the lid, I used the lavender all over my bottom lid. And then the purple, I used it deep in the crease and lower lash line. And I did use the purple mascara on the upper and lower lashes with that look to create this beautiful monochromatic purple look. So even if you're scared to use all 4, you can create a beautiful monochromatic purple look with this palette. And then for look number 2, I had a lot of fun with that look. So once again, use this in the transition. But then I wanted to focus on the green. So I used this green in my transition, kind of like how I'm doing today. Once again, like today, I actually used this shade on the lid. And then the green, outer V, lower lash line. And then I still snuck in the lavender in the inner corner, but I forego the deep purple. So that second look, use these 3. So the first look, use these 3. The second look, use these 3. Today I'm using all 4. And then for my third look, I used all 4. And that one, I have a demo video. So watch the demo video so you can see how the shadows work in action. And I'll quickly give you my final thoughts, although I think you get it at this point. All right, so this is actually going to be the third look. First one on camera, but this is going to be my third time using the palette. I'm going to try to incorporate all the colors if possible for this eye look. I always find myself starting with this shade just because this is just, for my skin tone, a color that's just great to use all over the transition to set my eyeshadow primer, because as you can see, it's basically my skin tone. It's very close to my skin tone. Now, I've done a look where I put it on my lid and it actually was really pretty, especially in contrast to the green. But using it as a transition, you know, it's almost like I'm not wearing any makeup at all, but you know, it still serves a purpose for me to start with this shade. I think for this look, we're not really gonna feature This is not going to be the star, but if you see my other look, you'll see that. We're going to go with the green. I have not used this green all over the lid, so I want to start there. I'm playing around, trying different brushes, you know, trying to find dense brushes to apply it. Just because trying to build up the pigmentation. I hope you can appreciate the green there. Believe it or not, I'm going to show you something. Palettes always comes with these sponge applicators, which I normally do not use, but I actually started using it the other day because I found that surprisingly it actually was really good at building up the pigmentation. Even better than some of my expensive brushes, which is a crazy thing to say, but it actually applies it really well. Look how, like, I mean, you see it here, but like, it's actually very pigmented using these sponge applicators. Crazy. The sponge applicator just to apply more on this side. Next, I'm gonna go into the deep purple, which I feel like is the deepest shade out of all four. I am gonna use a brush for this, and so I'm gonna put it on the outer V, and I'll also be applying it. Let's even go into the crease with this. But you can see, like, they show up, but they're not scary, you know. It's Chanel, so, you know, you can build them up to a degree, but it's not a scary, these are not scary pigmented. So, for better, for worse. But I think, you know, purple and this green, these are a nice combination, especially for the fall. I think these two surprisingly actually work well together. Now this light purple is the lightest shade, so I'm gonna actually put that in the inner corner. Although there is no shimmers in the shade, as you can see, it really pops using this inner corner highlighter. Back and forth in my mind, do I want to do purple or green on the lower lash line? I decided to go with this Chanel khaki color, the ombre couture, so I'm going the green route. I don't know, I could have gone either way. I really was wrestling. The purple obviously would have been given more contrast, but I don't know, just what I was in the mood. I've been going back and forth, purple or green, the lower lash line. I'm being symmetrical with this look. I don't know. I guess I'm just, maybe it's my green top that's pulling me to pull more towards the green than the purple. I don't know. But just emphasizing the lower lash line with the green shade. But we have the pops of purple in the inner corner, the light one, and then the deep in the crease. And I'm just really loving the khaki green, khaki olivey green with the purple. All right, so I went ahead and finished the eye look. I made sure to just make sure there was a little bit more of the deep purple in the outer V. I used the sponge applicators, but otherwise just added liner, mascara on the cheeks if you're curious. Up in the high points, the Valentino, the deepest shade, I think it's number 11. And then on the balls of my cheek and for highlighter, this and this from the Hourglass Makeup palette. On the lips, it's Chanel Wild shade. This was from last year. What are these? Rouge Cocoa Blooms. So pretty and very hydrating. But let me pull back so you can see the full makeup look all together. But then let's zoom into these eyes. So let's get a load of these eyes. So this is the final eye look. Like I said, I'm loving the combination of the olivey green shade with the purple. I just think the combo is beautiful. I'm having so much fun, you know, creating eye looks, you know, getting my creative juices going with this third look. I'm gonna go run off to work and we will talk later. All right, so I hope you liked that demo video. So I hope you can see from these 4 looks, you know, with this eyeshadow palette, You can create some soft looks. You can create monochromatic looks. You can create some fun looks, some bold looks. It's up to you. Like, I just find that you have a lot of choices how you want to go about it, you know? So you can create symmetry, or you can have fun and go bold. You can, you know, I'm sure you could do like a one and done look. You could, I mean, the world is your oyster with this palette. And I just think these colors are just perfect fall colors. I mean, mustard, olive green, purple, you know, lavender we don't think of for the fall. We think of that more for the like springtime, but it just still works. And it's fun to have something different. So it worked well. I'm talking about the spring. In some of my eye looks, I use the purple and green eyeliners from the spring summer collection. They paired well with these. So this is like great that I can still transition my Chanel products from the summer collection into the fall collection, and it still works. So I'm loving it. Yeah, I was able to build up the color. These colors are beautiful. They were easy to work with. You know, I'm not always the biggest fan of Chanel eyeshadow formula. It can be hit or miss, but this one is a hit. So I love the eyeshadow. Mascara is fantastic. I just love the color. You know, like I said, it's more of a lengthening and separating formula rather than a volumizing, but the color is just really pretty. The nails are so cool. Chanel does not normally do this. Usually they do more flat colors, which are beautiful. I love Chanel formula, but to see them, you know, delve into this kind of color, it's just, what can I say? This collection, I love it. I love it. This is a win to me. This is a win to me. They don't always win. You know, there's been some eyeshadow palettes from early in the season that were just okay and things like that. But this one, and guys, they're not only selling it on the Chanel website or some of the more traditional big department stores. They're selling it at Ulta. Now, Ulta normally doesn't get the new stuff. You know, they always have the more older staple products, but whenever Chanel comes out with seasonal new products, a lot of times Ulta normally doesn't get it. Ulta does. So guys, if you shop at Ulta, you know, have points with them, this is the time to, you know, shop at Ulta for Chanel, because it's not often that you can get it. I don't think I saw the nail polish, but I believe at least the eyeshadows there. They definitely have a few of the items for the collection. So please go check out Ulta and see what items are available at Ulta's website. Otherwise, just go to the Chanel website. But yeah, so that is it. I'm loving the collection. Let me know, guys, if you got it, you plan to get it, what you guys think about it. So let's talk in the comment section. And if you haven't already subscribed, consider subscribing to my channel. But regardless, I just wish that you guys have a fantastic day, and I'll see you next time and show you what the next items that come into my collection. Bye, guys.